The crisis begins. The galaxy was in chaos. Alien ships, sleek and menacing, tore through planets and star systems with ruthless efficiency. The once peaceful worlds now faced a grave threat from the Zolarians, a fierce alien empire bent on domination. Entire civilizations were falling, and no one seemed able to stop the onslaught. In a remote corner of the galaxy, far from the battlefront, lay a small human settlement known as Greenvale. This settlement was known for its peaceful way of life. The people of Greenvale were considered by many to be timid and unremarkable. They lived quietly, far from the wars and grand adventures that filled the news from across the stars. They farmed their land, tended to their animals, and went about their lives with little thought of conflict. On a bright, calm morning, the residents of Greenvale went about their usual routines. Children played in the fields and farmers worked the land. The peaceful scene was shattered when a group of Zolarian ships appeared in the sky. The massive dark ships cast long shadows over the town, and the air was filled with the loud, terrifying hum of their engines. Panic spread quickly. The Zolari ships began their assault, firing energy beams that set fields ablaze and destroyed homes. People ran for cover, but there was nowhere to hide. The once beautiful settlement was engulfed in flames and smoke. The Zolari invaders showed no mercy, their goal clearly to destroy everything in their path. Among the residents was a man named Leo. Leo was known in Greenvale for his quiet demeanor and aversion to conflict. He spent his days reading books and helping in the community, but avoided any sort of danger or confrontation. His neighbors often joked that he was too scared to even swat a fly. But now, as he watched the destruction from a distance, something inside him began to change. Leo saw his friends and neighbors struggling to cope with the disaster. He saw brave faces among the townsfolk, trying to fight back with whatever tools they had. Yet, their efforts were futile against the advanced alien technology. He realized that despite their bravery, they were completely outmatched. As the chaos continued, Leo gathered a few friends, each one also seen as timid or out of place. There was Sarah, a bookish woman with a knack for inventing gadgets, and Tom, a young man who preferred to stay in the background but had an extraordinary talent for fixing things. Together they huddled in a small hidden bunker beneath Leo's home. In the bunker, Leo and his friends discussed what to do. "We have to do something," Leo said, his voice steady despite the fear that gripped him. "We can't just sit here and wait for the Zolari to finish us off." Sarah looked up from her makeshift workbench where she was trying to cobble together some sort of device from the wreckage. "But what can we do? We're not soldiers. We don't even have any real weapons." Tom, who had been quietly observing the discussion, spoke up. "We might not have much, but we have brains and skills. Maybe we can come up with a plan. It's not about fighting them head-on. It's about using what we have to make a difference." Leo nodded. "Tom's right. We might not be warriors, but we have other strengths. Let's think about how we can use those to help." The team began to brainstorm. They talked about ways to defend themselves and their fellow residents. They planned to set traps using Sarah's inventions and Tom's mechanical skills. They decided to gather any remaining weapons and supplies that could be of use. Each person worked on their part, focusing on their strengths. As they worked, the sound of explosions and alien ships overhead became a constant reminder of the danger outside. The bunker shook with each blast, but Leo and his friends remained focused. Their fear was real, but they were determined to protect their home and their people. Outside, the Zolari continued their relentless attack, but the residents of Greenvale were not entirely without hope. Leo and his friends knew that they had to act quickly. They understood that their chances of survival depended on their ability to outsmart the invaders rather than overpower them. In the midst of the turmoil, Leo felt a strange sense of calm. He had always been seen as the weakest link, the one who would shy away from danger. Yet here he was, leading a small group of unlikely heroes in their fight for survival. The situation was dire, but Leo's resolve grew stronger with each passing moment. As the sun set on that fateful day, the people of Greenvale, including Leo and his team, prepared to face the ongoing threat. They knew the fight ahead would be tough and uncertain, but they were ready to prove that even those deemed cowardly could step up when it mattered most. The galaxy was still in peril, and the Zolari were a formidable enemy, but in the small town of Greenvale, hope was rekindling. Leo and his friends had made the first move, showing that courage could come from the most unexpected places. The unexpected team in the days following the attack on Greenvale, Leo and his small group of friends worked tirelessly in their hidden bunker. The alien assault had left the town in ruins, but Leo's team was determined to make a difference. Despite their fears and limited resources, they began to form a plan. Leo knew they needed more help if they were to stand a chance against the Zolari. So, he decided to reach out to others in the settlement. Though many had already fled or were in hiding, a few residents remained, some of whom had skills and knowledge that could be useful. Their first recruit was Maya, the town's medic. Known for her gentle nature and quick thinking, Maya had spent her days helping the injured and sick. She had always been seen as a caretaker, not a fighter. But when Leo approached her, she listened carefully. "I know you're scared," Leo said, "but we need your medical skills. If we're going to fight back, we'll need someone who can take care of injuries and keep everyone healthy." Maya hesitated, looking around at the wrecked town and the frightened faces of those around her. "I've never been in a fight before," she admitted. "But if it helps my people, I'll do what I can." With Maya on board, Leo and his friends turned their attention to finding more allies. They approached Raj, a former engineer who had lived a quiet life in Greenvale. Raj had always been known for his practical skills and problem-solving abilities, but he had avoided conflicts, preferring to stay out of the spotlight. "Raj," Leo began, "we need your expertise. We're trying to come up with ways to defend ourselves and take the fight to the Zolari. Can you help us?" Raj was reluctant at first. "I'm not a soldier. I haven't been in a dangerous situation like this before," he said. Leo replied, "We're not asking you to be a soldier. We need your skills to build and repair equipment. Your knowledge could make a big difference." Raj thought about it for a moment. Seeing the determination in Leo's eyes, he nodded. "All right, I'll help. I'll see what I can do with what we have." Next, Leo sought out Lila, a young woman known for her sharp mind and quick reflexes. She had always been seen as a bit of a troublemaker, someone who liked to challenge the status quo. Her reputation for mischief made her an unlikely candidate for a hero, but Leo saw potential in her. "Lila," Leo said, "we need someone who can gather information and scout areas. Your skills could be useful in finding out what the Zolari are planning." Lila raised an eyebrow. "You want me to spy on the aliens? Sounds like a dangerous job." Leo replied, "It is dangerous, but you're quick and resourceful. We need someone who can move around unnoticed and find out what the enemy is up to." Lila considered Leo's request. After a moment, she agreed. "Fine, I'll do it, but I'll need some gear and support." With their new team members in place, Leo and his friends set to work. Maya organized a small medical station in the bunker where she treated injuries and prepared supplies. Raj began to work on repairs and upgrades for their equipment, using his engineering skills to fix and enhance whatever he could find. Lila started her reconnaissance missions, scouting the area and gathering valuable information about the Zolari. As the team began to function, Leo saw how each person contributed in their own way. Maya's calm demeanor and medical skills provided essential support. Raj's technical expertise helped them improve their equipment and defenses. Lila's scouting reports offered crucial insights into the enemy's movements and plans. Despite their efforts, the situation remained dire. The Zolari continued their attacks, and Greenvale was still under threat. But the team's morale began to rise as they started to see small successes. They managed to set up a few defenses around the bunker and even launched a few minor counterattacks. One evening, after a long day of work, the team gathered in the bunker to discuss their progress. Leo looked around at his friends, feeling a sense of pride. They were no longer just a group of cowardly humans. They had become a team, working together with a common goal. "We're making progress," Leo said, "but we need to do more. We need to strike back at the Zolari and show them that we won't be easily defeated." Raj, who had been busy with repairs, looked up. "We've improved our defenses and gathered some useful information, but we need a solid plan if we're going to make a real impact." Lila nodded. I've seen the Zolari's supply lines and weak points. If we focus on those, we might be able to disrupt their operations. Maya added. And if we can keep everyone healthy and prepared, we'll be in better shape to handle the challenges ahead. Leo smiled. Exactly. We're not just fighting for survival. We're fighting to show that even those who are seen as weak or cowardly can rise to the occasion. Let's keep pushing forward. With renewed determination, the team set their sights on their next steps. They knew the road ahead would be tough, but they were ready to face the challenges together. The unexpected team of cowardly humans had begun to make a difference, and their journey was just beginning. Building the team, the days turned into weeks, and the small team from Greenvale continued to work hard in their bunker. The Zolari still threatened the galaxy, and Greenvale remained in danger. Leo, Maya, Raj, and Lila were determined to do whatever they could to fight back. But they knew they needed more help to take on the powerful alien empire. Leo called a meeting in the bunker. The room was small and filled with the hum of machinery and the smell of old metal. Despite their limited space and resources, the team was making progress. But Leo knew that they needed more people with skills and knowledge to increase their chances of success. All right, team, Leo began. We've made good progress so far. But to really make an impact, we need more help. I've been thinking about who else in Greenvale might be able to contribute. There are a few more people who could be valuable to our efforts. Maya looked up from her medical station, where she was preparing supplies. Who do you have in mind? Leo glanced at his notes. First, there's Ben. He's a former soldier who retired here. He might not have fought in years, but he has military experience and knows tactics. Raj nodded. Ben would be a good addition. But isn't he a bit of a recluse? I've heard he keeps to himself. Lila, who was busy going through reconnaissance reports, added, It's worth a try. We need every advantage we can get. With a plan in mind, Leo set out to find Ben. The former soldier lived on the outskirts of Greenvale, in a small house surrounded by trees. Leo approached the door and knocked. After a few moments, Ben answered, his face weathered and tired. Hello, Ben, Leo said. I know it's been a while, but we need your help. The Zolari are still attacking, and we're trying to fight back. Your military experience could be crucial to our efforts. Ben eyed Leo with skepticism. I retired for a reason. I've seen enough conflict. Why should I get involved now? Leo replied. We're not asking you to fight a full-scale war. We need your expertise in planning and strategy. Your knowledge could help us avoid mistakes and make the most of our resources. Ben thought for a moment, then sighed. All right, I'll help. But only because I want to see this place survive. I'll join you at the bunker. With Ben's agreement, Leo and his team continued their search for more allies. Next, they approached Emma, a skilled mechanic who had been working on various projects around Greenvale. Emma was known for her ability to fix anything, from broken machinery to old vehicles. Emma was busy working on a broken-down hovercraft when Leo and his team arrived. She looked up, surprised to see them. Emma, Leo said, we need your help. Our current equipment is not enough to fight the Zolari. We need someone who can repair and improve our technology. Emma wiped her hands on a rag and said, I don't know. I've never been in a situation like this before, but if you think I can help, I'll give it a try. Raj, who had been working with Emma on some of the equipment, added, Emma's skills are exactly what we need. She can help us keep our machines running and even build new tools. Emma nodded, seeing the determination in their faces. All right, I'll join you. I'll do what I can to keep our equipment in shape. With Ben and Emma on board, Leo's team had gained valuable new members. They returned to the bunker and set to work integrating their new allies into the group. Ben began to help with tactical planning, using his experience to develop better strategies. Emma worked alongside Raj, fixing and enhancing their equipment. As the team grew, they faced new challenges and opportunities. Ben's tactical advice helped them refine their approach to dealing with the Zolari. He organized drills and training sessions to improve their skills and coordination. Emma's mechanical skills allowed them to upgrade their defenses and create new gadgets to aid in their missions. The team also faced internal conflicts. Not everyone agreed on the best way to approach their mission. Tensions rose as different opinions clashed. Leo worked hard to mediate these conflicts, ensuring that everyone's voice was heard and that they remained focused on their common goal. One evening, after a particularly intense training session, the team gathered in the bunker for a debriefing. Leo looked around at the group, feeling a sense of pride and accomplishment. "We've come a long way since we started," Leo said. "Our team is growing stronger and we're making progress. But we need to stay united and keep pushing forward." Ben nodded. "We've got a solid plan now. We need to keep improving our tactics and preparing for the challenges ahead." Emma added, "And I'll make sure our equipment is ready for anything. We're not just fixing things, we're building tools that could turn the tide in our favor." Maya, who had been quiet, spoke up. "We've all made sacrifices and taken risks, but we're doing this for each other and for Greenvale. Let's keep working together and make sure our efforts count." The team agreed, their resolve strengthened by their shared experiences. They knew the road ahead would be difficult, but they were prepared to face it together. With their combined skills and determination, they felt ready to take on the Zolari and protect their home. The unexpected team from Greenvale had grown into a formidable force. Each member brought their unique strengths to the group, and their unity gave them hope. As they prepared for the next phase of their fight, they knew that their efforts were making a difference. The big plan the team in Greenvale had grown stronger and more organized, but they knew that to make a real impact, they needed a solid plan. With Ben's military experience and Emma's mechanical skills, they were ready to put their ideas into action. The stakes were high, and their plan had to be clever and effective. Leo called a meeting in the bunker. The room was filled with blueprints, maps, and various tools. The atmosphere was tense but hopeful. Everyone knew this plan was their best chance to fight back against the Zolari. "All right, team," Leo began. "We've made good progress, but now we need to come up with a big plan. We need to hit the Zolari where it hurts, and show them that Greenvale is not to be underestimated." Ben, who had been studying the Zolari's patterns and weaknesses, spoke up. "I've been analyzing their operations and supply lines. They're heavily reliant on a central command ship for their coordination. If we can disrupt their command structure, it could throw them into chaos." Emma, who was busy working on a prototype device, added, "We've also been improving our equipment. I built some gadgets that can disable their energy shields and create distractions." Maya looked up from her medical station. "And we need to be prepared for injuries. We can't afford to have anyone sidelined during the operation." Leo nodded. "Exactly. We need to coordinate our efforts and make sure everyone knows their role. Here's the plan." The team gathered around a large map of the area, with key locations marked in red. Leo pointed to a spot on the map. "This is the Zolari's central command ship," he said. "It's the heart of their operations and their most important asset. If we can get close enough to sabotage it, we could turn the tide in our favor." Ben took over the explanation. "Our plan is to launch a multi-phase attack. First, we'll use Emma's gadgets to create a diversion and disable their shields. Then we'll send a small team to plant explosive charges on their command ship. Meanwhile, another team will create chaos on the ground to draw their attention away from the ship." Lila, who had been gathering intelligence, added, "I've identified weak points in their defenses. If we time our attack right, we can exploit these weaknesses and maximize our chances of success." The team discussed the details of the plan. Each person had a specific role to play. Leo would lead the team attacking the command ship. Emma would be responsible for setting up the gadgets and disabling the shields. Ben would coordinate the ground attack and ensure that everyone stayed on track. Maya would manage the medical support, ready to treat any injuries. With the plan laid out, the team began their preparations. Emma worked tirelessly on her gadgets, testing and fine-tuning them to ensure they would work as intended. Raj helped with the final touches, making sure their equipment was in top shape. Ben organized training sessions to prepare the team for the upcoming battle. He drilled them on the plan and how to react to unexpected situations. The training was intense, but it was clear that the team was becoming more skilled and confident. Lila continued her reconnaissance, providing updates on the Zolari's movements and confirming the best times to strike. Her information was crucial to the success of their plan. As the day of the operation approached, the team felt a mix of excitement and anxiety. They knew the risks, but they were determined to see their plan through. The night before the attack, they gathered in the bunker for one final briefing. Leo addressed the group. "Tomorrow is going to be a big day. We've put a lot of work into this plan, and we have a real chance to make a difference. Remember, we're not just fighting for ourselves, we're fighting for everyone who's been affected by the Zolari, Maya added. And we need to stick together. If anyone gets hurt, we'll be ready to help. Our teamwork is what will make this plan successful. Ben nodded in agreement. We've trained hard, and we know what we need to do. Let's stay focused and execute the plan with precision. Emma looked around at her teammates. We've got the tools and the skills. Now it's time to put everything into action. With a final nod of determination, the team prepared for the mission. They checked their equipment and reviewed their roles one last time. The tension in the bunker was palpable, but it was clear that they were ready to face the challenge ahead. As night fell, the team set out under the cover of darkness. The Zolari command ship loomed in the distance, and the team knew that their moment had arrived. They moved swiftly and quietly, executing their plan with precision. Emma's gadgets worked perfectly, creating the diversion and disabling the shields. Leo and his team approached the command ship, while Ben's ground team caused chaos and confusion. Lila's intelligence proved invaluable as they navigated the enemy's defenses. The operation was intense and fast-paced, with each team member playing a crucial role. Despite the danger and the odds against them, the team remained focused and determined. As the final phase of the plan unfolded, the team hoped that their efforts would make a significant impact. They knew that this was a critical moment in their fight against the Zolari, and they were ready to give it their all. The first victory. The night was dark, and the air was thick with tension. As Leo's team moved toward their target, the Zolari command ship, they knew that the coming moments would be crucial. This was their first major operation, and they were determined to make it count. Leo, Emma, Ben, and the rest of the team approached the command ship with careful precision. The ship loomed overhead, its massive silhouette casting a shadow over the battlefield. The diversion created by Emma's gadgets had worked perfectly, and the Zolari were momentarily disoriented. "Stay sharp," Leo whispered into his comms. "We're almost in position." Emma had used her gadgets to disable the ship's energy shields, making their approach easier. Her devices had caused a massive power surge, which drew the Zolari's attention away from the command ship. It was the perfect moment for Leo and his team to strike. The team split into two groups. One group, led by Leo, would plant the explosive charges on the command ship. The other group, led by Ben, would continue creating chaos on the ground to keep the Zolari distracted. Leo and his group moved stealthily towards the ship's entrance. They carefully placed the charges in strategic locations, ensuring that the explosives would cause maximum damage. The tension was high as they worked quickly, aware that they had limited time before the Zolari might regain their composure. Emma's gadgets had indeed made a significant difference. The ship's shields were down, and the security systems were malfunctioning. This allowed Leo and his team to work with greater efficiency. They placed the final charge and set the timers, knowing that their work would soon come to fruition. As Leo's group finished their task, they signaled Ben's team to start their retreat. The ground team continued to create confusion among the Zolari, using improvised weapons and tactics to keep the enemy forces occupied. The Zolari were struggling to regroup and respond to the unexpected chaos. With the charges set, Leo and his team quickly made their way back to their extraction point. They moved swiftly through the shadows, avoiding detection as they approached the safe zone. The excitement and anxiety were palpable as they neared the end of their mission. Once in position, Leo glanced at his watch. The countdown was ticking, and they had only moments before the charges would detonate. They waited in anticipation, hoping that their plan would succeed. Suddenly, a deafening explosion rocked the area. The command ship erupted in a burst of fire and debris. The shockwave of the explosion was felt even from a distance. Leo and his team watched with bated breath as the Zolari command ship was engulfed in flames. The explosion had achieved its intended effect. The Zolari were thrown into disarray, their command structure severely compromised. The chaos on the ground intensified as the Zolari struggled to understand what had happened and how to respond. Leo's team quickly regrouped and made their way back to the bunker. They were met with cheers and applause from the rest of their allies. The mood in the bunker was one of elation and relief. "We did it," Emma exclaimed, her face lit up with excitement. "The command ship is destroyed!" Ben clapped Leo on the back. "Great job out there. You led us through a tough mission." Maya, who had been monitoring the situation from the bunker, added, "We've got injured Zolari soldiers retreating." "It's working!" They're disorganized and confused. Leo looked around at his team, feeling a profound sense of pride. They had faced significant challenges and risks, but their efforts had paid off. They had achieved their first major victory against the Solari. The team took a moment to celebrate their success. They had proven that even those seen as cowardly could achieve great things when they worked together and relied on their strengths. This victory was a testament to their courage and determination. However, Leo knew that this was only the beginning. The Solari were still a formidable enemy, and there would be more battles ahead. But for now, the team could savor their achievement and use it as motivation for the challenges to come. As the team gathered for a debriefing, Leo addressed them with a smile. "This is a big win for us. We've shown that we can make a difference and fight back against the Zolari. But we need to stay focused and keep pushing forward." Ben nodded in agreement. "We've shown that we have the skills and the courage to take on the enemy. Now we need to build on this success and plan our next moves carefully," Emma added. "We've made a significant impact. Let's keep improving our equipment and strategies so that we're ready for whatever comes next." Maya looked around at her teammates, her eyes filled with gratitude. "We've done something incredible today. Let's remember this moment and use it to drive us forward." The team shared a sense of accomplishment and unity. They knew that their fight against the Zolari was far from over, but they were more confident and prepared than ever before. Their first victory had proven that they could achieve great things together, and they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As they settled back into their routines, the team remained vigilant and determined. They knew that each victory, no matter how small, was a step towards a larger goal. With their newfound confidence and strength, they were ready to continue their fight and protect their home. Facing setbacks, the victory against the Zolari command ship had lifted the spirits of Greenvale's defenders. For a while, it seemed as though their efforts were making a real difference. But in the days following their success, the team faced unexpected challenges that tested their resolve. The Zolari were not easily defeated. Despite the destruction of their command ship, they regrouped quickly and began retaliating with renewed force. Their attacks became more frequent and more intense, hitting Greenvale with a series of coordinated strikes. Leo and his team were caught off guard. They had expected the Zolari to be disorganized and slow to respond, but the enemy seemed to have recovered faster than anticipated. The relentless attacks took a toll on Greenvale's defenses and resources. One evening, as Leo reviewed the latest reports in the bunker, he received troubling news. The Zolari had launched a major assault on the outskirts of Greenvale, targeting critical infrastructure and causing significant damage. "This is bad," Leo said to Ben and Emma, who were working beside him. "The Zolari are hitting us hard. We need to find a way to counter their attacks." Ben studied the map, his face grim. "They've adapted quickly. Their attacks are more focused, and they're targeting our weak points. We need to strengthen our defenses and come up with a new strategy," Emma added. "Our equipment is holding up, but we're running low on supplies. We need to find a way to replenish our resources while also dealing with the attacks." Maya, who had been monitoring the situation from her medical station, joined the conversation. "And we're dealing with more casualties. We need to ensure we have enough medical supplies and personnel to handle the increased number of injuries." The team faced mounting pressure as they tried to address the multiple challenges. They worked long hours repairing damaged infrastructure and reinforcing their defenses. Despite their best efforts, it seemed like every step forward was met with a setback. One night, after a particularly fierce attack, Leo gathered the team for a debriefing. The mood in the bunker was somber, and the exhaustion was evident on everyone's faces. "We've been making progress, but the Zolari are not giving us a break," Leo said. "We need to reassess our strategy and find new ways to stay ahead of them." Ben spoke up. "We need to identify the patterns in their attacks. If we can predict their next moves, we might be able to anticipate and counter their actions more effectively." Lila, who had been analyzing Zolari communications, added, "I've picked up on some patterns, but they're still unpredictable. We need to stay flexible and ready for anything. The team worked tirelessly to implement their new strategy. They used Lila's insights to adjust their defense plans and develop countermeasures for the Zolari's attacks. Emma and Raj worked on building new equipment and fortifying their defenses. Despite their efforts, the challenges continued. The Zolari launched another major offensive, this time targeting Greenvale's power grid. The attack caused widespread outages and left the town vulnerable. Leo and his team raced to respond to the crisis. They coordinated with local volunteers and worked around the clock to repair the damage. The pressure was immense, and it seemed like every time they made progress, the Zolari found new ways to undermine their efforts. The situation grew more dire as the Zolari's attacks intensified. The team faced setbacks on multiple fronts, from damaged infrastructure to dwindling supplies. Morale began to wane as the constant pressure took its toll. One day, as the team gathered in the bunker, Leo addressed them with a heavy heart. "I know we've been through a lot, and it feels like we're constantly fighting an uphill battle, but we can't give up now. We've faced setbacks before, and we've come out stronger. We need to keep pushing forward and find a way to turn this around." Maya, who had been working tirelessly to care for the injured, spoke up. "We've made a difference already. We've shown that we can fight back against the Zolari. We need to remember that and keep working together." Ben nodded in agreement. "We've faced challenges before, and we can face them again. Let's focus on what we can control and keep improving our strategy." Emma added, "We've built a strong team, and we need to rely on each other. We'll get through this, just like we've gotten through everything else." The team took a deep breath and recommitted themselves to the fight. They continued to work on their strategies and adapt to the changing situation. Each member of the team played a crucial role in keeping Greenvale's defenses strong and finding ways to counter the Zolari's attacks. The setbacks they faced were significant, but they also served as a reminder of their resilience and determination. The team's ability to adapt and persevere was their greatest strength. Despite the challenges, they remained united in their mission to protect their home and defeat the Zolari. As they continued their fight, the team drew strength from their shared experiences and their commitment to each other. They knew that the road ahead would be difficult, but they were determined to overcome every obstacle and emerge victorious. The final battle. The time had come for the decisive confrontation. After weeks of intense fighting and setbacks, Leo and his team knew that this battle would determine their future. The Zolari had grown more aggressive, but Greenvale's defenders had also grown stronger and more determined. The final battle was set to take place at dawn. The Zolari had gathered their forces for a massive assault, aiming to crush Greenvale once and for all. Leo and his team were ready. They had prepared and planned for this moment, and they were determined to make it count. In the early hours of the morning, the team gathered in the bunker for one last briefing. The mood was serious, but there was also a sense of resolve and unity. Everyone knew that this was their chance to end the conflict and secure their home. "All right, team," Leo began. "This is it. We've faced many challenges, but today we're going to give it everything we've got. The Zolari are coming at us with everything they have. We need to be ready for a tough fight." Ben, who had been coordinating the defensive strategies, spoke up. "Our goal is to hold the line and protect Greenvale. We need to use every resource we have and stay focused on our objectives." Emma, who had been working on improving their equipment, added, "We've got new upgrades for our defenses and weapons. We're as prepared as we can be. Let's use these tools to our advantage." Maya, who had been tending to the injured and managing medical supplies, looked at her teammates with determination. "We've come a long way, and we've proven we can handle the pressure. Let's keep each other safe and fight for what we believe in." The team nodded in agreement. They had faced many challenges, but they were united in their mission. They moved to their positions, ready to defend Greenvale against the impending assault. As the sun began to rise, the Zolari forces appeared on the horizon. Their ships and troops advanced in a massive wave, intent on overwhelming Greenvale's defenses. The ground shook as their forces approached, and the tension in the air was palpable. Leo and his team were stationed at key points around Greenvale. Leo led the defense at the main entrance, while Ben oversaw the ground troops. Emma's gadgets were set up to provide additional support, and Maya's medical team was ready to handle any injuries. The battle began with a fierce barrage from the Zolari. Their weapons pounded Greenvale's defenses, and the air was filled with the sounds of explosions and gunfire. Despite the intensity of the attack, the defenders held their ground. Leo's team fought bravely, using their knowledge and skills to counter the Zolari's advances. Emma's gadgets created disruptions in the Zolari's communications, making it harder for them to coordinate their attack. Ben's ground troops used their training to repel the enemy, pushing back against the Zolari forces. As the battle raged on, it became clear that this was no ordinary fight. The Zolari were relentless and their tactics were sophisticated. They adapted quickly to the defenders' strategies, forcing Leo and his team to stay on their toes. Despite the challenges, the team remained focused and determined. They fought with everything they had, using their equipment and their wits to outmaneuver the Zolari. Each member of the team played a crucial role in holding the line and pushing back the enemy. The battle was intense and grueling, but Greenvale's defenders refused to give in. They were fueled by their determination and their desire to protect their home. The Zolari, despite their superior numbers, faced a fierce resistance. As the day wore on, the tide of the battle began to turn. The Zolari's initial advantage started to wane as the defenders continued to push back. Leo and his team maintained their resolve, and their efforts began to pay off. In the heat of the battle, Leo saw an opportunity. The Zolari had left a gap in their defenses, and Leo led a daring counterattack. He and his team exploited the weakness, causing significant damage to the Zolari forces. The counterattack was a turning point. The Zolari, who had been confident of their victory, were suddenly facing a fierce resistance. Their morale began to falter as Greenvale's defenders pushed forward with renewed vigor. The battle continued, with both sides locked in a fierce struggle. But as the sun began to set, it was clear that Greenvale was gaining the upper hand. The Zolari forces, exhausted and demoralized, started to retreat. Leo and his team pressed their advantage, driving the Zolari back and securing their victory. The defenders had fought valiantly, and their determination had turned the tide of the battle. As the last of the Zolari forces retreated, the defenders of Greenvale celebrated their hard-won victory. The battle had been tough, but they had proven their strength and resilience. The town was safe, and their home was secure. Leo looked around at his team with pride. They had faced incredible challenges and emerged victorious. Their bravery and unity had made all the difference. "This is our victory," Leo said. "We've fought hard and earned this moment. Let's remember what we've accomplished and use it as a foundation for the future." Ben, Emma, Maya, and the rest of the team nodded in agreement. They had faced their fears and overcome the odds. Their victory was a testament to their courage and determination.